Okay, very good. Well, thank you for coming out this morning. Today we have some updates on two investigations that were investigated by the Rockford Police Department. On July 25th, 2011, the Rockford Police Department responded to the 300 block of North Church Street regarding a report of a sexual assault. Officers learned that a female was sexually assaulted by a male acquaintance, whom she only knew by nickname. In April of 2018, detectives conducted a follow-up investigation. The defendant, Anton Hill, date of birth, June 2nd, 1987, was developed as a suspect. The investigation was reviewed by the Winnebago County State's Attorney's Office, and charges were filed against the defendant, and he was booked in the Winnebago County Jail on March 27, 2019, with a bond of $500,000. Recently, a Winnebago County grand jury indicted Mr. Hill for the following charges: aggravated criminal sexual assault, which is a Class X felony carrying 6 to 30 years in the Illinois Department of Corrections; criminal sexual assault, which is a Class 1 felony carrying 4 to 15 years in the Illinois Department of Corrections; aggravated battery, which is a Class 3 felony carrying 2 to 10 years in the Illinois Department of Corrections; and unlawful restraint, which is also a Class 3 felony carrying 2 to 10 years in the Illinois Department of Corrections. Mr. Hill's future court date is April 25th, 2019 in courtroom B as in boy, in front of Judge Wilt. He remains in the custody of the Winnebago County Sheriff with a $500,000 bond. The charges against Mr. Hill are merely allegations, and he is presumed innocent until or unless proven guilty in a court of law. The second investigation occurred on September 30th of 2017. The Rockford Police Department began to investigate a sexual assault allegation that had been reported by a female. She indicated it had occurred inside a home in the 7300 block of Travertine Trail in Rockford, Illinois. The sensitive crime detectives with the Rockford Police Department conducted a follow-up investigation. The defendant, Tariq Ahmad Amdan, date of birth, March 10, 1991, was developed as a suspect. The defendant was recently indicted by a Winnebago County grand jury and faces the following charges: criminal sexual assault, which is a Class 1 felony carrying 4 to 15 years in the Illinois Department of Corrections; unlawful restraint, which is a Class 3 felony carrying, a Class 4 felony carrying 1 to 3 years in the Illinois Department of Corrections; and misdemeanor battery charges. Mr. Abdan is currently being held in the Winnebago County Jail on no bond. His future court date is May 9th, 2019, before Judge Maher in courtroom D as in David. I would also like to share with you some statistics regarding sexual assaults, since April is nationally declared Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Campus sexual assaults, 20 to 25% of college women and 15% of college men are victims of sexual assault during their time at college. More than 90% of sexual assault victims on college campuses do not report the sexual assault. 27% of college women have experienced some form of unwanted sexual contact, and nearly 2/3 of college students experience sexual harassment. Crime reports indicate that sexual assault is the most unreported crime. 63% of sexual assaults are not reported to the police at all. The prevalence of false reporting is very low. And researchers studied 812 reports of sexual assault from 2000 to 2003 and found a 1% rate of false reports. During Sexual Assault Awareness Month, we would like to remind everyone that our goal is to enlighten the public and bring awareness to the issues of sexual assault and to encourage and empower the victims of sexual assault. We can accomplish this goal through collaborative engagements with all of our partners, including law enforcement, and collectively we can make a difference. At this time, I would like to bring forward Chief Dan O'Shea.
Good morning. You know, during this month, one of the slogans we have out there is "Only yes means yes." Sexual assault has been occurring, and victims of sexual assault are often shamed or embarrassed, and we have to get away from that. We have to have victims of sex assault and sexual harassment come forward and let us try and help. Let us try and be the bridge into the system, and let's put away the violent offenders. Nobody's got the right to do this. These are two good cases pending trial, but the violence is unacceptable. And only yes means yes, and we encourage people in the city to come forward to law enforcement and report if you are a victim. Please come forward.
This time I would be happy to entertain any questions that I can respond to, given the fact that these are two pending prosecutions. Yes?
Were either of these cases involving college campuses or college students?
Yes.
Both or one?
One.
I know you gave us some statistics on the reports and what's made and what's not. As far as working with local colleges and universities, are you guys doing any programs to maybe get the word out there that they should come forward and it's okay?
Well, today we are obviously addressing the public regarding that message, as we have done in previous press conferences, but college campuses do a really good job about posting their responsibilities pursuant to legislative statutes regarding the reporting of sexual assaults on campuses. They are mandated to make reports regarding sexual assaults. They are also mandated to provide survivor counselors for children who have been sexually assaulted while on college campuses.
I know you also mentioned that it's one of the most unreported crimes. Is there a correlation between that with maybe finding a suspect and things like that? Why is it so unreported? Is it hard to try in court, or what is it?
I believe that they are unreported, as the chief said, because most victims of sexual assault find themselves being embarrassed. They are ashamed that they personally were not able to protect themselves, or if it was an acquaintance, they feel betrayed that they had trusted this person and they had been violated. But what we want to do in bringing awareness to the community and the public regarding sexual assaults is that the only shame is with the offender, and it is not with the victim. And so we want the community to understand that victims who go through a sexual assault have trauma physically and psychologically, and that they need to have time to heal, and that the community should embrace them and encourage them and hopefully empower them to come forward.
Are sexual assault cases oftentimes kind of intertwined and related with domestic violence?
They can be. They're not always intertwined with domestic violence, but they certainly can be. A person's partner can actually be charged and be a perpetrator of sexual assault while they are in a relationship with someone. Yes?
For other people who are out there, how did the victims in these two cases know their perpetrators so that other people can see examples of how you have a relationship like that?
Well, without commenting on pending litigation, what I will say is that you should always be aware of your surroundings, and you should always focus on maintaining healthy relationships and having friends around you that you trust in different environments so that you can have added protection. Any other questions? Yes,
When were they both indicted?
recently.
I know you said that, I don't know if you can comment on this, but one of the cases did involve the college student. Did you mention if it was on a college campus or?
I did not mention that it was on a college campus. The question was, did it involve a college student? And the answer was yes.
Would you be able to answer if it was maybe on a college campus or nearby?
I can't comment on that right now. Other questions? Very good. Thank you, everyone. Okay, you can make your